sun is finally here after what feels like months and months and months of the worst winter I've ever experienced.
In fact, they reported that this year, February, has been the wettest in 42 years.
We also had one of the worst storms in 100 years that blew through the Castelo Branco district. It's knocked over trees on the farm, it's destroyed buildings in Castelo Branco. I've actually got footage of that. And we also suffered a tragic loss here on the farm that I'll tell you guys about a little bit later.
But for now, it's springtime and it's grass growing season, and we've got a lot of work ahead of us getting the garden and the farm safe for summer.
And today I've got some new technology that I'm going to be testing out that's going to make our lives a lot easier. We have a beautiful 3.5 hectare farm in Central Portugal. We grow a mixture of olives, and we also grow a lot of grains and different crops on our field to support agriculture, to support neighbors' sheep and things like that. And as you can hear, we have some chickens in the background. We also have some hairy little fuzzballs. This is one of them. This is Mimosa. And we have another big one just over there that hopefully will come in the video a little bit later. To help us with all of that grass that gets grown on the farm, we have this. If Mimo could kindly step out of the way. This is the ANTHBOT M9. And ANTHBOT have really graciously sent us this. It's absolutely jam-packed, full of features. Eddie is incredibly interested to hear about what the ANTHBOT has in store. I think what we do now is we get this thing set up, and then we can get onto some of our other jobs around the farm while this thing works for us. What do you say, Eddie? Shall we do this? Good boy.
You can tell it's spring. Listen to the bees. You need to get B-roll of the bees.
B-roll? B-roll.
They're so loud.
So the bees are, I think they're solitary bees, I'm not entirely sure, and they're living through like this section of the farm. They come back every single year, and they have little homes in the ground here, and you can see all of the blossom comes out. And if I can just shut up for a second, you guys will actually be able to hear the sound of the bees.
Ken never shuts up.
To the back of our farmhouse, we have this big lawned area, and this is where I want to put the ANTHBOT M9, because this is where I do most of my mowing in the spring months. It's an area of around 1,000 square meters, so it's a pretty big area. It's actually perfectly sized for the ANTHBOT M9. It's designed for gardens up to 1,000 square meters, so I think it's going to be absolutely perfect for this area. But for today, I'm first going to test it out in this little area here. This is our vegetable garden patch. We've got our greenhouse over here. We have some of our planters. We've got a couple of solar panels, and this is where I want to set up the ANTHBOT. So it's quite a nice looking box. It's got a quick guide over here.
That's big enough for me to read without my glasses.
Yeah, that's actually true, huh?
Yeah.
And then we've got the full instruction manual. And then we've got, what's this cover for? Look at that. Now we can see the mower itself. All right, let's get this out. Look at that. It is very ANTHBOT looking. It's got the same color scheme as before. And
no, it's got purple wheels.
It does, actually.
I like the purple wheels.
Yeah, very cool. All right, and then we've got a bunch of other stuff in here. And let's do like a, what is it? Car wow. Just throw it off into the distance. Yeah. Another interesting part is going to be this. The base station, charging station. Do you know what the hell is that thing?
It's like, is it Poseidon's?
Yeah, trident.
Yeah.
This is the little spike that's going to keep the RTK antenna into the ground. This is the RTK antenna. This is basically like a satellite GPS antenna, and this thing basically connects to, I believe it's 150 satellites, and that can really precisely tell this mower exactly where it is in the garden. And Mimo is positively fascinated by all of this information, as you can see by her wagging tail. While Edmundo, on the other hand, doesn't seem to be all that fazed by it. Now, setting it up is super simple. You have the base station, which you basically plug into its adapter and plug it into power. There's another wire over here which goes to this antenna. This is the RTK antenna. This receives the satellite signals, and then finally you get the mower and you lift it up and you put it onto the charging station. And you're going to get that little beep to tell you that it's turning on and setting itself up.
So we got some new hens yesterday, and they're already laying eggs, but I just wanted to show you the difference between the egg yolks of our chickens and the egg yolks of the new chickens. Look, this is our chickens with the bright orange, and then this is the new chicken with the very pale yellow.
And you can see the difference because ours are free range. I mean, we do keep them inside the caged area for, well, probably half the time, and then they come out in the mornings and scratch around and eat bugs.
So they eat bugs, and then but they're being fed well and they're outside, and that's kind of, and that's the difference.
Jeez. Look at that.
Oh, there's bacon to go on that yet.
Oh, and feta and brie and grapes. And lettuce and
tomatoes
and cucumber. Nice. ANTHBOT have a really awesome app. It's very slick, it's very easy to use, and you can download it for Android or for Apple products. So on the screen for the app here, we can see we've got little joystick controllers. We've got up and down, or forward and back, sorry, and we've got left and right. And this basically is like a little Xbox controller almost for this thing. So you can use it to map the area where you want it to mow. And then there's another button on the top right corner called Auto. And if you press that, the mower is going to automatically find the borders and boundaries of the land and map its own course. And that's what I press now. We can see it's finding the edges. The way it's working is it's using its cameras on the front. It's got these special vision cameras to show it exactly where it's going and where obstacles are. It's trying to find the very edge of this lawned area here. And so far it seems to be doing a good job. I'm just following it around the perimeter. It seems to be figuring out exactly where the edges are. I think if you were to do this manually, you could create much straighter lines. As it's going, it's obviously seeing these weeds and moving out of the way of the weeds. And let's see how it reacts to these solar panels and to this fence line. We can see it's sort of cutting the corner there. And now it's figured out that this is an obstacle. It's pretty clever stuff. And yeah, I think again, if I was to use the manual mode, I could just make it go in a very straight line along here. But this is the first time I've ever used the auto mapping feature on any of these robot mowers. Sometimes when you see things like, auto mapping, it's a little bit of a gimmick and, it doesn't work properly. But I mean, this hasn't got stuck yet. It's been doing a pretty good job of figuring out where everything is. And we go round this side. We're nearly back at the charging station. That's pretty cool. Here we go. Let's see what it does when it gets to the charging station. Okay. So on the app it says, mapping finished. Do you want to continue? And it's quite gently sending itself back to the charging station. I've got some other robotic mowers that sort of slam into the charging station, and it's quite vigorous. This is doing a nice gentle job of it. And there you go. So this is the auto zone that the mower's made, and we can see it's got quite rough edges, but that is pretty fair considering that we've got fences and we've got quite tall grass and stuff like that. And now that it's mapped the grass, it's time to start. Look at that. Go on, little mower, do your thing. So the one thing I'll notice is that it's quite quiet. It's quieter than the other mowers I've got. It's going over and it's actually cutting at the moment. I've set it to a cutting height of 30 millimeters. And the grass is quite long. It's got some sort of weeds and things like that in it. So it's not ideal in this little garden. But this is just a little test that I'm running here so far. Some tall stuff here. I went right through it. Look at that. Good job. So I'm just going to let this mower do its thing. And we got some work to do in the chicken house.
During this really wet winter, we put straw down in the chicken run. Just because it was getting really muddy and horrible underfoot. But the chickens have really enjoyed scratching through the straw.
Now the nice thing about having all the straw down is that there's lots of little bugs and all sorts of things that start to live in there. It also starts to compost down on the ground, and it gives them something to scratch through. They also make these little dust baths here where they get all of the soil in between their feathers and things like that, and it helps them with little mites and lice and stuff like that. So on this orange tree we get probably thousands. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, okay, maybe thousands is a bit far, but it feels like it's hundreds at least of oranges. It's so many oranges that we just can't eat them all. And at this time of year, they start to fall down and they start to rot. So Gina's just going to collect those up before we put the straw down. I reckon it's a good idea to leave them underneath the straw and it'll create more bugs. But Gina is a bit concerned about flies because we do have lots and lots of flies that come out in the springtime on the farm.
Chickens don't like the oranges either.
That's true. Yeah, no, they don't eat them. Nima is our disgusting little farm dog. For her, she's searching for something very, very expensive and very delicious. It's chicken poo. It's one of her favorite things to eat. And it gives her the most wonderfully fragrant breath. Nemo, stop that. You disgusting dog. I'm just having a look outside. I don't know if you can see on the camera here, but there is a definite line where the mower's been and where it's cut, and obviously where the grass is still long. And it's definitely gone through all of these little tufty bits on the lawn here, so I'm quite happy with its performance so far. And I also feel quite happy and safe in the knowledge that this is doing its thing, that if it runs into any troubles, it'll either alert me on the app or it'll just, you know, shut itself down. I have used the ANTHBOT Genie in the past and I never had any issues with that mower, so it's a very safe thing to have. Its cameras actually help it detect things. It's got a memory of objects and things like that, so you know, if you've got pets on the lawn and if you've got different things on the lawn, it won't go over those and damage them. We've got this pile of rubble over here, which is kind of a sin bin. It was actually here from when we first bought the property, so we do have to get this taken away at some point, all of this stuff. But it also makes a good place for us just to put waste like that. Just don't tell anyone.
No.
No, don't show anyone our rubbish pile. All right, I'll grab that hay bale, Gina, and we can start haying.
Haying?
Hay?
Strawing.
Hay?
Is it straw or hay?
Oh wait, it isn't hay. It's cock-a-doodle-doo. We've got these big bales of hay from Agri-Lodger. Actually, I say big bales, these are quite small.
And it's straw.
That was like a double crow, wow. Yeah, this is straw, not hay, and I keep calling hay straw and straw hay.
The chickens are very vocal today.
I think what we've done is we've upset their whole mojo by adding some new hens. And they're starting to cause little fights with each other and stuff. The whole literal pecking order has changed. But it's caused some dramas because we had, what, 9 chickens in total, 7 hens, 2 roosters. We've just brought another 6 potentially hens in. And yeah, it's caused Star
It should
Wars.
only be a couple of days though, and then the pecking order will sort itself out again.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, it won't be long.
It's kind of unusual because these 2 roosters that we have are crowing a lot at the moment. They don't normally crow like this. And yeah, all of the hens are quite unhappy as well. That looks really satisfying.
That's when you go to bed and you're covered in hay. You find hay and straw in places you didn't know existed.
And it actually looks really awesome once all of this fresh hay is out. And you can imagine once all the little bugs and everything get involved in there, and then the chickens can really scratch through it. And that's why we get such good quality eggs with those nice deep orange yolks. So here we go, the mower is still hard at work. It's actually done a really good job. I can actually see a big difference in what it was before, with the weeds quite raised and the grass quite raised, and now we've got a nice uniform flat surface. So look at that, that is a pretty uniform cut. And we can see a big difference here, look at this. This is the section that it hasn't mowed yet, and we can see it's really tall in some parts. Now, these robotic mowers, they're made for lawn maintenance. They aren't made for putting on a field like out there with a big lumpy surface with really tall grass. What you need to do before you set up one of these mowers is you need to actually get the grass cut first so that it has a baseline to work off. But having said that, this mower is cutting some pretty thick stuff. Look, we're just about to go pretty much into the weeds here. Look at this. I mean, this is the last remaining area to do here, and if I just zoom the camera up, we can see, I mean, look at that. That's about 30 centimeters high in parts, so it's a nice little test of what this ANTHBOT's capable of. And I'm quite impressed because for the first time ever I've used the auto setting, and it's done a really good job of mowing this area. And while the ANTHBOT does its job, I'm going to head on a little dog walk. So outside here we've got charging stations for some of our other robotic mowers. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of them. This is the old charging station for the old ANTHBOT mower just over here. And the RTK antenna, you can see it's very similar to the new stuff. And this is our olive grove. So we got this big olive grove area, and we had some big fancy robot mowers, and the one that did the best job through this whole olive grove section was the ANTHBOT Genie. Now obviously we haven't tested out this new ANTHBOT M9 in this olive grove section, and we don't have time to do that today because we've only just set it up and time is running out, but I have no doubt that it'll do a good job in here. But yeah, this is a huge space to cut. And then we've got this long path over here, this road that leads down to our big bottom field. This also needs to be cut. And this is why I'm so lucky that I've been given these robotic mows to test, because when you've got all of this land, the grass grows so quickly, you've got to cut it twice a week. And you know, if you fall a few days behind, the grass is suddenly so long that you know you need to get out the strimmer. It's a real pain. And like in the olive grove area, I mean, this was a lifesaver.
Yeah, I mean, how long did it take the ANTHBOT to do the olive grove? Like,
it takes hours because it does have to recharge.
That's quite a long time. So we'd just go out and do other stuff. Like, it's not like you have to watch it for the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the olive grove is about an acre, so you know, we had like the biggest ANTHBOT Genie with the biggest battery. Obviously it does have to go back and recharge, but again, I mean, this thing was capable of getting around all of the olive trees. You know, I just mapped the perimeter and it figured out where all of the trees were and avoided all of the trees. You know, the technology is really good, and that was the very first mower that came out, or the very first RTK mower from ANTHBOT. Now we're on to this next generation, this M series, and I have no doubt that this is going to be an improvement on what
of course.
The Genie already was. Fortunately, we don't have to cut these fields with robotic mowers. You know, we've got 3.5 hectares of fields that we grow grains and wheats, barley, oats, corn sometimes, and yeah, fortunately those areas are cut by tractor just before the summertime so that we don't have a wildfire risk.
Well, I think in the holes that the wild boar dig and the wild dogs dig.
Yeah, that's like the size of a mower, so the mower would fall straight in. But for your gardens and for regular, you know, sort of garden spaces, even for things like our vineyard and for our olive grove, these robotic mowers do work pretty well. So this year we had major flooding down here. It all seems to have subsided a bit. This was like proper muddy and up to your sort of, I don't know, above your ankles, all just in soupy water. We had like, almost like a little lake section out here. And this drainage ditch over here was completely full and was actually running like a river. It was really beautiful. I say it was running, but look, you can actually see we've got a good flow happening there. And all the algae and everything growing in there. We've got lots of froggies and toads. And at night time, there's a big chorus of little froggies and things down here, all singing. I'm going to come back out here at night time one of these nights with the camera and with some microphones and just record that for you. It's just the most amazing chorus. But for now, this has gone a little bit all slimy because we've got the sun has suddenly started to come out and we've got all this algae growing here. It's going to be very good fertilizer though. So
I can see it flowing though.
It is, yeah. But I think it's just all of that sunshine. This whole section here, as we can see, all of this brown area, this was all like a lake.
Look.
Or like a pond. And then it's proper slimy as well. What are you looking for? Frog eggs?
No, I was just coming out here to see how muddy it still was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's pretty gross. So we've come to the end of February and there's a saying, Em avril águas do mil, which is like a farmer's saying, and it's basically to say in April there's 1,000 rains. So we're really looking forward to that because we've just had 1,000 rains in winter. April's usually like the wettest and rainiest month, and this whole field behind us gets completely waterlogged, completely soaked. And that's the time of year when the frogs, or the toads should I say, start spawning. We're so lucky to live here. It's such an amazing place, especially when the sun comes out like this. Earlier on I was talking about the damage of some of the trees. And we can see in the forest section here, these trees have been completely blown over. They're just uprooted and they're just lying flat on their sides. It's a real shame that. And the forest also lost a number of trees as well. In the middle of the forest there's one that's actually been snapped in half completely, halfway up its trunk. But one of the best things that all of this rain did was fill up our pond. It's actually gone down a little bit. It was almost at ground level at one point. And another amazing thing was most of our fishies came out. We actually got to see most of the koi and the goldfish and everything that we put in here. I'm not sure why they're hiding now. They're probably more along the back there, but there were some really huge ones that we saw yesterday and it was really cool to see them again.
It was at least like 8, I think, the big ones that we saw yesterday.
Like really big ones, like about as long as your forearm, you know. Big, thick koi. Now sadly, as the summer progresses, because this isn't lined or anything with clay, the water levels do drop and that does get quite low in the height of summer and towards the end of summer. But maybe one day we can line this with clay and it'll hold water a little bit better, because it just looks so nice to have this at ground level. Now, because it's winter, we don't have any leaves on any of these vines or anything like that. But here's just a look at, this is the garden area with that M9, ANTHBOT M9 is going to be cutting. So all of this area around there, all the way through there and around. It's a big area. It's about 1,000 square meters. Gina's just told me that she can see some fish. Okay. Don't know if the camera's going to pick them up. That's a massive goldfish, I think. No, that's a koi. Cool. It's like a little adventure park for our dogs. Mimo is going through these hedgerows here and she's seeking out little mice and voles and moles and basically any little rodent creatures. She is a serious hunter. Eddie's doing exactly the same thing in the background. She's just spotted him and she's like, does he have anything interesting? So yeah, I mean, look at this. This is before I left to go to the Algarve. This wasn't nearly as tall. It's now full of flowers. I'm not sure exactly what plant this is, but absolutely full of flowers. It's really tall now. It's almost up to our knees. In fact, it's past Gina's knees. And this just gives you an idea of how quick the grass in our garden's going to grow. Oh, my sweet girl. Hello. I think ANTHBOT has finished the job. Yeah, look at that, eh? Now I hope the camera is picking up just how nicely it's cut this grass. Now we are also in, just before spring, we are still in winter. So we do still have some weeds in this grass, which are quite a challenge for mowers to get through. And I mean, it's done a really good job. Hey, look at that. A really good job. It was easy to set up. It automatically mapped this whole area and it's cut the grass really well. Thank you, ANTHBOT. In the beginning of this video, I mentioned that we had a tragic loss. One of our family members passed away here on the farm. When we first moved to Portugal in our camper van Bob, we brought our dog, who passed away a couple of years ago. And we brought him along with Nanook and Meko, who are our two big Maine Coon cats. And we brought them all the way from England.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Boykie passed away. I mean, he was a grand old age of 14. So,
for a Maine Coon as well.
Yeah, which is really old for a Maine Coon.
A big cat, and the bigger they are, they don't usually live as long.
It's normally 8 years, I think, is their average age.
8 to 12, I think. Yeah.
But yeah, he hated winter anyway. He was definitely a sun worshipping cat. Loved laying out in the sun, and just unfortunately one day we came back and he was
he had
a stroke here.
Well, he had a hemorrhage. The vet thinks he had an internal hemorrhage, so kind of like a stroke, I guess.
Yeah.
We had a brain hemorrhage, and he was really, really unwell. It also happened to be like a Sunday or so. It was like the worst time ever, wasn't it? Wasn't it like night time?
No, it was like a evening time. We'd been out food shopping and came back and he was acting a bit weird, and within minutes just kind of collapsed on the floor.
Yeah.
And we've got a local vet in the village, and luckily enough he was able to get us in within like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
So from us finding him to, him not being with us anymore was a very short period of time, but
yeah, it was very traumatic.
But he was old, and it was his life wasn't what it used to be. He just used to get up, go for a wee and a poo, and go back indoors
go back
again.
in and sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was strange. I mean, obviously I love all of our pets, but the passing of Boykie really affected me. I was really sad about that one in particular. And it's not like I loved him anymore, but I think for me it's the end of an era. It's the end of all of our connection to England and our old life.
Yeah.
And that whole chapter is finished now.
It's like they were their own little family.
Yeah.
Like Nanook, Boykie and Masak or Dog were their own little pack.
And they're all together now.
Yeah.
In the same space, and hopefully up there somewhere.
Yeah.
And
but that's going to make me cry again.
Yeah.
It's been a while since Bud Steel.
Yeah. But anyway, that's we like to share the good news and the bad news, and we still have these. This is our new family. This is our Portuguese family here of these dogs and these chickens. I don't know if we're going to be getting a cat anytime soon.
No, well, unless one adopts us, but no, not purposefully.
Yeah. But on a positive note, we still have healthy and happy pets. We've got a beautiful summer on the way. I mean, I can feel already now it's the end of winter and we've just got this incredible weather. And yeah, thank you for sharing our life with us, boys. We love you very much.
I love all of them. Oh. Yeah. And I need to go and get changed because I've got hay down my bra.
Well, I want to say, first of all, this is my new baby.
It's the only baby you're getting.
This thing is awesome. And I want to say a big thanks to ANTHBOT for giving us their new, what is this, the M9.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be an invaluable member on our farm, a part of our farm team, our cleanup crew.
Our new tech family.
Yeah, this is a great new addition. So if you want to find out more about this, have a look in the video description, and in the top pinned comment I'm going to put a link to where you can find out more about this, where you can buy your own ANTHBOT M9.
Yeah, well, we need a new name for it because normally I call everything Bob, but we've got loads of Bobs.
We've got too many Bobs, so if you can tell us in the comments below what you think we should call this new M9. And yeah, we'll see you again, hopefully very soon, for another Portugal Farm Life vlog.
Or house vlog.
Well, it's been a long time since we've done farm life vlogs.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of stuff happening on the farm, so we're definitely going to be doing more of these soon.
Yeah.
And we'll speak to you guys soon. All the best.
Ciao.
Ciao.